This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
Yo, what is up, 24/7 Buff Fandemonium, the K-Gun Report, Season 3, Episode 41. We're going to talk about that Christmas gift that we got, this last Sunday. It's Christmas Eve. Saturday. It was Saturday. Big win against the Chicago Bears. We're going to talk about a little bit of this narrative that's going around about Josh Allen and where he really is with his throwing arm and all that kind of stuff. And we're definitely going to talk about this upcoming Monday Night Football game against the Cincinnati Bengals for the battle of first seed in the AFC. We'll hit this intro, and we'll be right here to talk Bills football with you. And here we are, and there it is, and this is what it is. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out with us. You'll see we're missing a twin. He's feeling a little under the weather. Poor Jerry. I'm going to call him Jerry because he's not here now. Poor Jarrod. A little sick, but he'll be back next week. But, of course, right here, to your left, my right, Mr. Scooter Magooter. What's up, Scott?
What's up, Swank? Hey, to the Bills Mafia, FLX Mafia, 24/7 Buff Pandemonium. What's up, guys? That's a huge win, a cold weather win. One that looked pretty hairy in the beginning, didn't it? A little scary in the beginning. Well, that first drive. I'd say the first drive was kind of nerve-wracking. But
yeah, I want to talk about all that because I think stuff's getting blown out of proportion. But yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
It was like a little on edge I was for that first half.
Yep, but it is what it is. Good football teams finish games. We're a good football team. We finished the game. We're 12-3. On to a huge, guys. This is a huge Monday Night Football game coming up against the Bengals. Bengals are still in it to be that first bye week playoff team. So you know they're going to be giving it them. They're all, and obviously the Chiefs are there. We need to win out in order to get it. So it'll be an interesting week of football these next 2 weeks for sure. The Bills ain't going to lay down or put their backups in for nobody right now at this point.
Nope, that's for damn sure. We got Paul Kirkdorfer saying go Bills. We got Diana Kirkdorfer saying let's go Buffalo. We got Mike V. Scott looking for bragging rights this weekend. Hey-o, this dude's in the championship, I believe, for the Final Fantasy Football League here at 24/7.
Me against Frankie Mullen. So that'll be a good matchup. He scored 170 points last week. I only scored 120. So hopefully my guys show up and his guys don't.
Yeah, you got to pick out who's actually going to be playing for real this weekend.
Yeah, right.
We got Shane Becker, our boy Rob Mullen. What's up, Rob? Frank Mullen. What's up, Frank? We got Lisa Johns. What's up, Lisa? And, of course, John saying, hello, Bills fans, period. I love that. We got Patrick Hughes. What's up, boys? To Scott on your win. Congratulations.
Thank you, Patrick.
Jennifer Barlow. Wanted to say I got a Knox jersey for Christmas, and I'm so proud to be able to wear it. Hell yeah, Knox is starting to wake up. We'll talk about that a little bit. We got Lonnie here. We got Uncle James. What's up, Scooter and Swank? What's up, Uncle James?
What's up, Uncle Jamie?
Hey, buddy, did you do that everyone thing, or are you doing that now?
Jarrod's going to do it.
All right, good. He's good for something like that. That's good.
He's good for something.
That's good.
He's probably doing it in the bathroom right now as we speak. That's all we're going to give you. We're not going to tell you exactly what's going on with Jarrod, but there's a pretty good chance that's how he's doing it.
Yeah, he already told me way too much, so I'm good on all of that. But yeah, let's well, is there any big news? I mean, there was a storm. I hope any of you guys that were in Buffalo for the Buffalo Blizzard of 22 are safe and sound and warm and got some lights, and I hope they open up the highways and whatnot for you guys here pretty soon, man. That was a big old crazy deal. Team had to fly into Rochester. Gnarly.
That's pretty awesome. Well, It sucks, but it's pretty awesome. That's so close to us.
You read, boys, turning tragedy into triumph every time.
But it's a good thing. Rochester has a big fan base. There's a bunch of people that showed up at that airport.
Patrick Hughes says I was supposed to fly back to Orlando today, but I'm stuck in Buffalo now until Tuesday. Wow, that's crazy. Man. Yeah, hope you guys had a good holiday. Scooter and myself did. We were just kind of talking about her. Yep. Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm excited to talk about this game, and and some of the stuff going. You want to get into it, buddy?
I want your opinion on one thing. Miami's in a playoff hunt. They can't win the AFC East. They got a couple divisional games. They could potentially be out of it. Do you see Tua playing any of those games? He suffered his third concussion yesterday or the day before in the second quarter, and he continued to play the rest of the game. What are your thoughts on that, real quick? And if he legit is going through protocol and he's not doing well, what do you think, Swank? I mean, that'd be ridiculous for me if I saw him playing next week.
I mean, it'd be ridiculous, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think that McDaniels has shown his true colors. He started out as like the kind of hipster, buddy players coach, busting balls, like kind of entertaining. Like he's got a very Hollywood vibe to him.
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning of the season, I think it was like kind of endearing and lovable and different. And now I think it's cute and sad. Are the words I would use to describe the way he's coaching that team. And I think the way he's handling the Tua situation, if they weren't winning games, which they haven't, he wishes it was colder. He's 0-4 in December, everybody, just in case you were wondering. The way he's handled that situation is pathetic. And if they were a Las Vegas Raiders team, or if they were a middling team, which they kind of are turning into right now, any record worse than what they are, I think that you'd be hearing about him being on the hot seat for the way all this has kind of transpired. If a couple of those close games would have went the other way instead of the W, I think you definitely wouldn't be talking about him in such a great light. I don't know what the temperature is in Miami right now. I think they love him. I think they love Tua, and that's fine, man. Love your team. But to me, he's a joke, and I think that team's a joke. And I think if they prioritize winning over this dude's health after his third concussion, you didn't pull him out of the game, but he's bad enough to be in concussion protocol. That happened at the end of the first half, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, late second quarter.
Yep. And instead of getting him checked out, and I'll say, man, shame on the rest too, man. If this is what it's going to be, if you're trying to protect players, if you're calling certain sacks, personal fouls, and you're kicking people out, and you're doing all this crazy stuff, when a dude bounces his helmet off the turf, get him checked out at least. Yep. They would have decided he had a concussion then. It's 3 times this season. There's been a weird cloud around that one player 3 separate times, and he's had concussions 3 separate times. And I don't know, I think the league should really look into it. But it'll probably be one of those off-season things, and then it'll get swept under the rug and blah, 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 blah. So, but yeah, I mean, I think their chances are higher with Tua. But I really only think the one thing Tua has is that prayer of a deep ball.
Yep.
Like, the slants. I'll give him slants. He's very good at throwing like quick slants. But other than that, he will buy a little time and bomb it. And you got 2 of the fastest dudes in the NFL chasing him down. And they're never, very rarely are they a dime. They're usually in the area. So
I've noticed most of the time they're underthrown, which we saw in the preseason and laughed at. So,
well, or the pick he threw to Jair, which was overthrown, by a mile and right into his lap. So I don't know, man. There was a lot of people also clamoring for Tua to be in the Pro Bowl over Josh Allen. Get real, like completely get real. This is a whole lot of what I'm going to get into with this Bears game coming up, but the amount of shit that the national pundits are trying to pile on Josh Allen, I think is way too much. And I'm hoping that I can help spin what some people are saying as a glaring negative into a positive, especially for this playoff push. That's a teaser. What do you think about Miami, man?
I love seeing them falling. I love the fact that they're playing 2 AFC East division rivals the next 2 weeks. It's because those guys are also fighting for a playoff spot. At least the Patriots are. but I don't think it's worth Tua. I don't think it's worth Tua. And I think, yeah, I'd be very disappointed in the NFL because if Miami passes them, I'm still not 100% of who does the protocols, unless you know Swank, in Miami. I know they have a unbiased guy at the game to evaluate, but who's doing the protocols during the week when they're trying to clear them? Is that still an independent agency or is that Miami staff?
And I think they got their own guy who they fired the first guy they had earlier in the
Right,
season, right?
right.
So now they got
Hmm.
another guy, and here we are again.
Okay.
To me, I don't know. There's a huge microscope on them right now because of the way they've handled the previous two. So now, if he trips and like, I think the refs should really be looking, and the coaching staff especially, but the refs should really be looking at this kid. Like, look at Mitch Morse right now. There was
Yep.
a big concern for him coming to Buffalo because of the concussions that he had previously to this, and now I think this is the second time in his tenure being here that he's been out for a couple games because he's in concussion protocol.
Yep.
And that's the difference. We want Mitch Morse out there snapping Josh Allen the ball. He's a very important piece to this offense, this team, a leader. Like, we want it all. But the Bills won't risk a dude's health and safety. Look at how cautious they are with everything.
Yep.
Everything, It's just, to me, I don't know. It's irresponsible, man. It's completely irresponsible. But
Yep. Agree. I just want to hear your take on that, and I agree
Yeah.
100% with you.
hell yeah, man. Let's see here. Mike V, don't get me wrong, Tua was showing out this season, but his health is more important than anything else. Yeah, I'm not saying I want to play Tua. I want our defense to be the one to prove everybody wrong. I don't want our defense to go up against slouches, man. And really, out of the 32 teams, you can't legitimately say that there's one team that doesn't have a chance. You know what I mean? Every weekend, the Texans. Look at the Texans.
Yep.
There's very close games all over the NFL, and the ball bounces the way it bounces. Look at the Jaguars. Everybody thought they were done, and now they're sitting in a playoff spot.
Right.
It's any given Sunday. I know that's cliche to say, but that's the truth of it. So for me, I don't want to see a bad or a good player sit, or a mediocre player like Tua. But you gotta. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity, a shot. He is one in however million that get to be in this position, and if he wants to continue to play at this position, they have got to take better care of him. And he's, I know he's got that fighter dog in him. I really don't think he's a bad guy. That's the thing I hate about it, is that I kind of like Tua, as a guy,
Yep.
and him and Josh are friends and all that stuff, man. I think his game is weak. I think it's a hope and a prayer,
Yep.
He's
Yep.
not even aggressive enough to be like a Brett Favre or a Fitzpatrick or something. You know what I mean? It's not like making something out of nothing. It's okay. That's the whole game plan, man.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm gonna get off that tirade, but yeah, it's it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But the way everything's going, I don't even want to see him in the playoffs. I don't want him. I don't want him to be there. So, Mike V is saying, who the F is saying that BS? Well, let's just get into this game. How about that, man? Week 16, the Bills at the Chicago Bears. I believe it was the 5th or 6th coldest game in Chicago history.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was 9 degrees, 10 degrees, something like that. Christmas Eve game. Watched it around my nephews, opening gifts and hanging out and having a couple toddies, hanging with the family. So I was very relieved once it got to the beginning of the fourth quarter, when things seemed to be in hand, and I could kind of keep one eye on, one eye off. Watch some highlights. I really want to go back and rewatch the game. But I've watched enough to know that, God, I got a lot of points I want to make. But I'm gonna throw it to you, Scott. What did you see on the offensive side of the ball? Who gets your game ball this week? Hit it.
I got to go with obviously the weather helped, but running the ball more than you pass the ball. I think this is something we needed to show other teams in the NFL. Unfortunately for the Buffalo Bills, they are going to go through the rest of their season playing cold weather games until they're playing in Arizona at the end of the year. But these cold weather games, we need to show that we can run the ball. The fact that they ran the ball more than they passed, I'd love to see that. And my game ball is going to go to Devin Singletary. We've been preaching his name all year, even in their offseason. Right now, his rushing average is 4.6, something he's done year in and year out. He's consistent. He finally hit that 100-yard mark. Congratulations. And he was a big part in this win and controlling that game. So the offensive line wore him out, even without Mitch Morse. It's nice to see Ike Bulker come back because we all know Ryan Bates can now play center and Bulker can go to guard. And I think the line didn't look too bad with that out there. So I saw a very well planned out strategic game by Dorsey. Josh Allen didn't have the best game of his life, but again, the weather's going to play a big role, and sometimes play calling is going to dictate how that's all done. So, game ball, Devin Singletary. Good job, Buffalo, for winning a nice cold weather game.
Nice. Well, my game ball is going to go to the other running back, Mr. Jimbo Cook, Mr. Himbo Cook, breaking out. Devin Singletary over 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. James Cook, 2 yards short of a 100-yard game and a touchdown, making some crazy cuts, starting to get his puppy legs out of his system. He did have one slip there where he could have turned probably another 5-10 yards, maybe broke it, getting ahead of himself. But other than that, man, he is looking prime. And I think that he is the guy that is climbing up in those ranks and being able to be that number 2 to Stephon Diggs that they can lean on a little more. It doesn't seem like anybody's starting to step up. I mean, Knox is looking better these last couple weeks, but I think James Cook is turning into the guy that all of us wanted him to be week 2 when he was, a first touch fumble guy, and he was, getting his feet underneath him. But he had a hell of a game, man, and I really like him. I really like the way he runs. He's as advertised, and once he hits that groove, I don't think you're going to stop that kid. So my game ball goes to James.
I'm with you with that, Swank. The thing about James Cook is they drafted him to be a receiving running back out of the backfield, and you could tell with a running back, it's all about hesitation. It's all about trusting what he sees. It's all about trusting what he's been doing all these years coming up through the league and then putting it together in the NFL. And the way he's hitting his holes, he's not hesitating. The reason he's so successful and getting better and better is because you see him making the read, the zone block read, hitting that hole and going upfield. I mean, he is someone that is going to continue to get better as we play football, guys. Just watch. I mean, him hitting the holes is such a confidence thing for me. I'm not seeing him hesitate at all, and that's very exciting.
That's what you want, man. It's all about getting up to speed, and they say historically running backs have it easier in that respect, that you can basically learn a play in the huddle. But still, transitioning from high school to college is a huge adjustment. From college to pros, I mean, the game is so fast, and it has to take a minute, depending on how you process, how you acclimate. You got to give these guys a little bit of time to work into it. And I believe in the process and what Sean McDermott was doing. I know he was taking a lot of heat earlier in the season for not giving him many snaps. I think that approach is paying off right now. And this is where you want it to start paying off, right before the playoffs, getting a kid hot that, could really, really do something for you, getting you that Lombardi.
Right. And, trusting that process, Swank, isn't just about drafts in the offseason and the training camps. We've noticed our McDermott and Bean like to take their time developing people, and that's all part of it too. That's all a process too. So that is included with it, and James Cook isn't an exception. So they're trusting the process, and the process is working.
Yeah, absolutely. Since we're talking about the offense and the running game, I'm going to get to my points here.
Get her done.
A lot of heat on Josh Allen by pundits this weekend. I hate it. The dude is a stud. He's the only guy in the NFL that can throw for 2 TDs and rush for 1 and still be called like not as advertised. Nick Wright, he's a guy that's a troll that does all this stuff, and he was cherry picking stats since he played the Kansas City Chiefs. He's the bottom part of the league and this, that, and the other thing, whatever, man. Here's the thing. He's winning. And the way I would take this game, I know it was a little rough. I saw Jennifer wrote that the first half was rough to watch. It was, man. It was a little rough, Still, 9 years ago, I would have took that first half over some of the stuff that we were watching back then. So I try to stay grounded and humbled by that respect. But this kid can put a team on his back in multiple ways. I say, okay, the passing game isn't where we want it to be right now. Fine. Stephon Diggs he hasn't gotten a lot of touches the last couple weeks. Fine. We're winning. It's a 6-game win streak right now. The running game that everybody was clamoring for in the beginning of the season has arrived. Over 200 yards rushing, and Josh Allen wasn't your leading rusher. We can't have a perfect game every single game. It can't be a shutout. It can't be Josh Allen throwing for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns and the running backs rushing for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like, you can't have everything. There's another team on the other side of that. He's got 5 years worth of tape almost out there. Like, people are going to try and figure him out. What I'm seeing is Ken Dorsey as a play caller growing and kind of figuring out these different pockets of their game. Are you telling me that this week going into Cincy, they don't have to plan for James Cook and Devin Singletary now? Not that they didn't have to before, but those dudes just ran all over the Bears.
Right.
And I know it's the Bears, but come on, man. 32 teams in the NFL. Like, come on. You gotta plan for it. You gotta be waiting for it. And now you got Stephon Diggs. You got James Cook that can catch around the backfield. You got Hines getting involved, catching little swing passes. Maybe some of these other dudes, Gabe, McKenzie, maybe little Bees, all that stuff, if they can just step up a little and Knox can take that next little playoff step, you're heading in with a full head of steam on multiple facets of your offense. And that's trouble, man. That's trouble for a lot of teams.
I agree 100%. I mean, that's just Josh Allen is always once you start to think that he's not getting knocked anymore, they turn around and start doing this stuff. I saw an interesting stat earlier this week saying, and none of you guys, none of you remember that the Cowboys lost to the Jaguars? Do none of you guys remember that the Texans took Kansas City into overtime, and the only reason they won is because of a turnover that gave the Chiefs the ball at the 20-yard line? Those kind of games happen. Every NFL team is good. That's just the way it is. And, Josh Allen, let's not forget the stats he's putting up. I'd say he's the MVP this year because right now he has played in, I believe I saw it, 7 bad weather games so far this year.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And unlike Mahomes, who has the easiest schedule in the NFL, Josh Allen is still 12-3.
Yeah.
So you can't sweep all that under the rug. He's winning football games. He's running. You saw that game last week, that 60-yard run he hit against the Jets, or was it Miami, because he put the ball and the weight on his shoulders, and he was a man, and he stepped up and made that delivery. He's doing what he has to do to win these football games, and he's not going to stop next week, the week after, during the bye week and all. He's going to continue doing that until they're holding up the trophy. You can't hate that. And like you said, 12-3 is 12-3.
Yeah, man. I heard a caller on WGER today talking about how the difference between this year and last year is that Daboll's not here. And Daboll's a genius, and Daboll knew how to run this offense, and Ken Dorsey just doesn't have it. What are you looking for? What do you want? He's a first-year coordinator. We're 12-3. We already have a better record than Daboll had for our team last year. We've won more games against a harder schedule. Like, what do you mean?
And we're winning the close games.
We are. Do you realize how we would be blowing teams out if they just tightened up a couple things, little minor adjustments, drops. Drops are huge.
Red zone turnovers.
Red zone turnovers. And I'll go back to this, man. I thought Josh's elbow was 100%. I do know, not 100, but close to it. I thought he was getting better. And he was zipping it in there. There's a couple games where all of a sudden you're like, he's back, he's back. I don't know, man. I don't think that he can make all the throws comfortably. That one overthrow to James Cook with the bad interception to the linebacker, that was like so uncharacteristic of him. That you haven't seen him throw that kind of ball since his second year in the league, and you can't tell me, unless, I mean, it was windy, maybe it floated on him, maybe whatever, maybe he didn't see it. Maybe what I think is happening is that he knows that his arm is fidgety, and he knows that he needs to make the most out of the opportunities he has when he's on the field. So now he's going and reverting back to hero ball a little and trying to fit it into windows. There's a couple balls they threw into the end zone that I was like, what are you doing? Double coverage. Like, maybe a healthy Josh Allen with no elbow issue can thread that right in there. And
double coverage to McKenzie, the smallest guy in your roster.
Yeah. Threw another one to Knox, I think. Double covered. It just, it's kind of what comes with it. You want a guy that's aggressive. You want a guy that makes the sideline, fourth down, going out of bounds across his body, touchdown plays. You're gonna have a guy that throws a lot of interceptions. That's just kind of what comes along with the territory. Still, compare it to Mahomes. Look at, everybody wants to compare him to Mahomes. I feel like he hit this pinnacle without anybody giving him any of the credit. Like he's a phony, he's a fraud, he's a phony. Well, maybe he's okay, whatever. Okay, he's great. As soon as he does one thing wrong, he's not Mahomes. And it's like, no, he's not. People still arguing that Herbert's like the greatest quarterback in the league. I don't know, man. It's just, how do you want it? The dude is amazing. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's going to go down in history as probably the best quarterback Buffalo's ever had, and no offense to Jim Kelly, but this dude is breaking records left and right. He's breaking records with a busted up elbow. I could tirade about this forever, dude. I can't. I gotta stop. I'm sorry.
No, that's all it does is a little trigger that when you hear the news that Josh Allen isn't all the hype and all that does it for everyone. Yeah. Everyone that knows what he's done for this organization, this program, and then you hear that, it's like, come on.
Yeah,
you got to defend it. You can't just let it go by. No. I'm with you, Swank.
Word. All right, let's go to the defensive side of the ball here. I think, that D-line showed out. If I'm going first here with game balls, I'm giving mine to Mr. Ed Oliver, dude. I think Ed Oliver is a staple in the middle of that line. I think he's just a beast, and got a sack taken away from him, but made some really good plays. Had did he have a sack and a half?
Eddie O? Yeah. I think they just gave him one.
They just gave him one.
Yep.
A lot of pressures. Dude's a beast, and I love him. So, Eddie O, that's my game ball. I think secondary-wise, we still got some stuff to tighten up. These freaking long ball, big play, hope and prayers that go flying down the field, I'm getting so sick of that. And you're not going to get away from that with somebody that's more accurate throwing those type of balls with Joe Burrow this weekend. So.
Right. And he's got 3 wide receivers that can go up and get it.
Yeah.
My defensive game ball, I'd love to give it to the defensive line. That first drive was kind of scary, but then they ended up only giving up 2.75 yards a rush and keeping Justin Fields 7 rushes for 11 yards in the pocket and bothered. But my ball is going to go to AJ Epinesa. I think he's someone that's didn't get a lot of tackles, but he got a sack. But he is providing a talent at Gregory Russo's spot, because now Gregory Russo is subbing for Von Miller. I think the transition, obviously we lose a little bit in losing Von Miller and having Russo there, but Russo's playing balls out. And I think AJ Epinesa, a guy that needed to step up in Russo's spot, is doing a great job. And I like what I saw out of him this week. He's becoming very disruptive with that 4-man pressure and even the run stopping and wreaking havoc and taking up 2-man blocks. So AJ Epinesa, man, it took a long time, but I think he's finally figured himself out in this defense. And I think we're going to see a lot more of him in the next coming weeks.
I hope so, man. We definitely need these younger guys to be stepping up, and I think they've done a pretty good job thus far. I really don't think the problems come on the line. I just think that it's that second CB spot. They're still trying to figure out that rotation, who fits better. Is Benford practicing this week? Did I hear that?
Oh, that'd be interesting if he was.
Yeah, it'd be a great time to get him back for
Well,
sure.
for those that remember, he's a physical defensive back, a little more physical than Kyer, bigger size too.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love him for him back against his matchup against Higgins, Chase, Boyd, and crew. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I think you need as many young, fast guys as you can get, especially young, fast, physical guys.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, another Hamlin display. I think he played better this week. Johnson had that pick at the end, Jaquan.
Yep, good for him.
I think he was just getting some trash time reps, but I don't know. I would really love to see some of these little holes filled. I don't think that the secondary is a disaster, but I think Trey and Poyer are working their ass off right now, and I really think it's coaching that they just haven't settled into who they want to put in those other two spots quite yet. I know they want DeMar out there, and he's a thumper. He had another great hit on somebody, but I don't know. What do you think, man?
It's hard to tell this week compared to last week. I obviously did better, but the Bears don't have the firepower in offense, wide receiver wise, as Miami does, and there's a lot of bad angles, a lot of missed tackles from DeMar because of that speed. We'll see this week. We'll see this week against Cincinnati with these wide receivers. The bad angles and the missed tackles aren't going to work against these big, highlighted wide receivers. They're both going to end up with over 1,000 yards receiving this year. So we'll see. I mean, like I said, Swank, he played the Bears. I think a lot of safeties look good playing against them this year.
Yeah, that's true. Justin Fields, I think he got a little wake-up call, maybe. I don't know. Maybe do a little research. Maybe watch a little Josh Allen tape. That might help out a little bit.
Unfortunately for Bears fans, I don't see Fields being the answer there in Chicago. Not unless they're going to become a Baltimore Ravens type offense where they can just rely. I mean, Lamar Jackson was an MVP and he threw for hell of yards back when he won that, but I just don't see Fields developing into that kind of talent, and they're going to have to be searching for a quarterback in the next couple of years.
Yeah, that's interesting though. I mean, Lamar's contract talks have gone nowhere. That could be a trade potential. You could trade Lamar outside. Well, not even trade. Jesus, he could go to Chicago. But if you flip-flop those two quarterbacks, the Ravens can pretty much run the same thing they've been running with a less athletic quarterback.
Right. Who knows? Should be an interesting offseason because his contract's this year.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Yep. Well, and I think he screwed himself a little bit. I really appreciated the way he went into it, and I think he deserves what he's asking, but he's hurt all the time. Like last year he was hurt, this year he's hurt. Really since like his MVP season.
Yep.
Availability, man. Like we talked
about. The more times you hurt your leg, the slower you're gonna get. And that's his bread and butter.
Yeah, and if you take that part of your game away, he is a good passer. Like I think he's proven those guys wrong on that.
Mm-hmm.
Just Baltimore hasn't ever kept a wide receiver around for him to throw to that wasn't 38 years old.
Right.
So
true.
We got let's see. Jerry Rice. What's up, Jerry? Ed Oliver's disruptive.
It sure is. What's
Paul
up, Jerry?
Kirkdorfer. We have a lot of defensive players hurt. Hopefully they'll get well soon. Rob Mullen. Defensive game ball goes to Milano. Good one, dude. Several unrecognized open field tackles and blanket coverage downfield on passing downs. Yeah, man, I think that linebacking core is solid.
Yep.
Let's see. Tom, do you think the Bills' D can take advantage of Collins' absence from the Cincy O-line?
That's a big one. He was injured. Lyle Collins, the right tackle. I mean, he's not Jonah Williams, a rookie from last year. But that right tackle is just as important as for a quarterback that throws the ball as much as the Bengals do with Burrow. Right now, Hakeem Ajende is the backup. Don't think I've ever heard that name.
Mm-hmm.
And with AJ Epinesa, like I said, is getting better and better every week. I think they should take advantage of that. Maybe bring some corners off the edge, confuse the hell out of this guy, and make. Remember, Burrow's been one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the NFL. He was the most sacked quarterback last year, and they made the Super Bowl. So there's no reason why we can't get to him. And with your number 2 blocker out, take advantage of it. I agree. They should take advantage of that because they're going to have to create pressure to ease the possible frustration that Higgins, Chase, and Boyd's might cause this defensive backfield.
I like it, man. I think it's pressure, man. Pressure. Come on, Leslie.
Bring it.
Smoke Burrow. Put him on his back. We say it every
It's a
week.
Monday. It's a Monday night game. Everybody's watching, so
Yeah.
let's do it.
Let's do it. Why not? Let's see. We got Kevin here. What's up, Kevin? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. You too, buddy.
What's up, Kevin?
Let's see. Harold Fuller says, biggest surprise of the year, Shaq Lawson.
Mhm.
I love how Shaq has played with the opportunities he's gotten. I love his energy. I don't know. I really like him as a player. I don't know if I'm surprised at how he's playing. The way he's very emotional and passionate and fiery, man. I think coming back here, I didn't expect him to play any worse than what he is doing right now.
Mhm.
Agree or disagree?
I agree. I think I'm glad he came back. I know he's got a special place in Buffalo, even though what happened, him leaving for an extra $500,000, whatever it was. He admitted to that. He admitted he missed Buffalo, the Mafia, and he is an emotional piece. I don't know, and I like what he's doing. Don't get me wrong with that part, but I don't know if because after a good play, he's all hype and he's all bouncing around and excited about it, if that's going to make him look like he's doing more. I don't know, but I honestly could say I do like what he's providing to the run defense. He's got a couple sacks, so as long as he doesn't blow gap responsibility and miss tackles, I'm liking him here.
Absolutely. Mike V, what about talks of Frazier being the lead for the Broncos head coach position? I haven't heard this one.
Broncos fired their coach yesterday or today.
Yeah, Nathaniel Hackett.
Yep.
He got fired from Buffalo once upon a time.
We need to just cycle out some of these not so good coaches and bring in some fresh, maybe ex-players that never coached before, like Saturday.
Saturday. Let's get Saturday in here. You got to get Dion.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Denver's a defensive-minded team, so bring in Frazier. The problem is you got an offense that's struggling, and if you don't bring an offensive-minded head coach, fans might not like the fact that they're still not putting points on the board, and Wilson's still stuck there for 5 more years. That's a bad situation that they're in there with right now with Russell Wilson.
Oh yeah, horrible. Yep. In a horrible contract.
Yep.
I mean, I really don't see how teams don't model their hiring process after exactly what the Bills did. Like, yes, Sean McDermott is a defensive-minded coach. What did he do? He hired offensive coordinators that have a good history of being good offensive coordinators in the league, right? Hackett, whatever. But Brian Dable came in here. We're not big Dable fans, but Dable has had a track record of running extraordinary offenses. Now you have Ken Dorsey, a protege of his, doing the same thing. Like, you don't know a side of the ball as well as another side of the ball. That's okay as long as you get somebody in there that does know what they're doing, you know. I don't know.
I'm laughing because Patricia being an offensive coordinator for the Patriots, I don't see why that was made.
I don't know. I think Belichick just doesn't care anymore.
Yeah,
you know, I really think he's just riding out whatever little contract he's got. Harold Fuller, do the Bills still get a third-round draft pick if Frazier goes to another team? I believe is there a compensatory for
I don't know,
a minority hire thing or something?
I don't know.
That is a
right?
thing. Yeah, I don't know if it's more than a one-time thing, but I do believe that's like an interesting point. I'd have to look into that, buddy.
Thanks, Harold.
Yeah.
Good question.
Let's see here. Mario Wilson, all about himself, not a team player. Cut him, wasted money. Yeah, I can't even imagine what the cap hit would be if you cut that guy right now. Jesus.
For the next couple of years. It's not pretty. It really is not pretty.
Nobody's stupid enough to take on that contract.
Nope.
Maybe the Raiders. Maybe the Colts.
The Raiders.
The Colts. Lance Swank. What's up, Pops? Had he said when they're going to play Cole Beasley. Cole's played the last 2 games. He's got a very limited snap count. That was a topic that we were kind of mulling over a little bit as far as when he got signed, what his snap count would look like. I think they just know what they got in Cole, and they're trying to get these other guys involved to see if anybody will give them a spark.
Right. Agree.
So it is what it is, I think.
Especially since Crowder might be coming back. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Doug says the Browns might give him a shot. All right. We've wasted enough time. This Monday night, the 3rd place Cincinnati Bengals against the 1st seed Buffalo Bills. Battle of the AFC. This is a huge game for playoff standings. A lot of implications. I think probably one, if not the biggest challenges for the Bills this season. You got Joe Burrow, you got Chase, you got Higgins, you got Mixon, you got Perrine. Is that how you say his name, right?
Yep.
Who I think, they're both really good running backs. But not really known to be a rushing team, right? I think pretty well rounded, but everybody's all about that Burrow bomb.
Yep.
Scott Reed, tell me your take on this Cincinnati offense coming into Buffalo. Or wait, no, we're going to Cincy.
We're going to Cincy.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt in my mind that Joe Burrow can put the numbers up if he has to. Depending on what the weather brings, it may be a freaking throw fest, 750 yards total between the two, 6 touchdowns plus. Joe Burrow can provide that. With Higgins, Chase, Boyd, running backs out of the backfield. Perrine is a hell of a running back out of the backfield. This game could be like that. If any one of these teams find themselves down by more than 1 score, prepare for the ball to be flying in the air constantly in Monday Night Football. And it'll be a good show for the nation to watch. 2 of the top 3 best AFC teams fighting for that number 1 spot, that number 1 bye week. It's a big week. And I love the fact that it's 2 weeks before the playoffs start. I mean, these are the kind of games you want this late in the season and on primetime, it's going to be a beautiful thing. But the Bengals are only averaging 3.9 yards a carry, but it seems like sometimes that Perrine and Mixon and I think sometimes they look like they're doing better than actually that 3.99 yards. And a lot of people will say Mixon's a better running back than Singletary, but Singletary has better numbers at this point, but I can talk about that forever too.
Yeah.
That running game can be there if they need it. So the Bills can't just bring 4. We mentioned Frazier bringing pressure. They can't just bring 4 to put pressure on Burrow, even though he does get sacked a lot, and not worry about that run, because that run can bite you in the ass if you're not careful. Mixon still is, I believe, a top 10 running back in the league. He still does what he does. He's a hard runner. He could do it all. So it can go a couple ways, Swank, like I said, but I plan on seeing Allen versus Burrow. It's going to be a fun game to watch, and I think it's going to be a late 4th quarter decision.
Ooh, I hope not, man.
Only because if the Bills do go up, I can see Burrow being able to bring them back, because the Cincinnati Bengals aren't one of those teams that get down by 2 scores and they can't catch up. They're a team that can light it up, just like the Bills do. 40 seconds left in the half, they can get down and get that field goal or complete a long ball to Higgins or Chase. It's just one of those teams that can do that, and that asks that kind of firepower can kind of bring on those huge, big-time games.
Well, I'd say that as far as that kind of thing is concerned, I think we've dispelled like the 1-score myth now with the Buffalo Bills, right? That they can't win 1-score games. They've won quite a few of them, couple game winners. Yep. They've been put in those positions with high-flying offenses like the Miami Dolphins, like the Kansas City Chiefs, more often than not. especially between the Chiefs the last couple years and the Chiefs and the Dolphins this year. And I think that bodes well for us playing Cincinnati. I think that the defense can prepare a little bit more for that kind of thing. And I think Josh Allen knows he's going to be in a gunfight, man. Like, it just has to be keep up, So, yeah, he's dangerous. Joe Burrow is one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL. He had that horrible injury his rookie season, but made it to the Super Bowl last year. Nobody really talks about that. In the Super Bowl last year. Like, he's a talent, man. James Chase is a freak coming off another injury.
Yep.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It definitely can change like that. So all those little stupid things that we need to clean up, I think I probably know what Rob Mullen's going to say for his X Factor, protect the ball. But all you can do is slow him down. I'd love to see some turnovers, man. I'd love to see some interceptions, and not garbage time interceptions, like real interceptions. Trey got robbed of his this last week. That broke my heart. A little friendly fire there, but maybe that's what we need this week from him. I'd love to see Poyer get back on it, get his hand on a couple balls.
Yep.
But
yep.
Yeah.
And this Lyle Collins injury is a big thing. It'll be interesting to see how the Cincinnati Bengals offense adjusts, knowing that their starting right tackle is out. It's going to be Russo over him, I believe. So, do they give a second blocker over there to help him out?
Oh yeah, he's been getting double teamed for the last.
Ed
couple
Oliver,
weeks.
is Jordan Phillips going to be back?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things. I think this defensive line, Cincinnati Bengals has really good defensive line and offensive line. So the fact that two of their main guys are nicked up a little bit may help us out significantly, but it'll be interesting to see how they adjust since we're talking about the offense with that right tackle being out.
Man, nothing creates problems like putting the quarterback on his ass. This message brought to you by 24/7 Buff Pandemonium every single week on the K-Gun Report. Make his life miserable. He gets sacked more than any other quarterback in the league consistently. They haven't addressed those problems as much as they probably should. Have a franchise quarterback sitting back there for the long haul. I can't imagine what the kid would do if he had more time to throw back there. Jesus. Yeah, hit him hard and often all the time.
Right. I agree.
So, offensively, I think, a lot of comments here. Got to get Diggs more touches. Kevin says Diggs needs to have a big game. I agree. I want to see him air it out. I want to see Gabe Davis come back to life. I want to see Knox running over guys. I think that this offense needs to score every time they touch the ball. You keep pace with a really high-powered offense like we talked about. You need to show everybody who you were and who you are. It's there, You showed that the whole first quarter of the season. Now it's time to get back to it, And you got the threat with the run game. I'd really like to see, bombs for the first half and then bleeding clock for the second half. That's what I want to see.
And I think they can do that. I think not the resurgence, but the development of Cook and what Singletary is providing now, especially last week, what we saw against the Bears. Cincinnati is going to have to take that seriously. They're going to have to keep guys in the box to defend that, drop linebackers, drop nickels to have to cover those running backs coming out of the backfield. Cincinnati really doesn't have that bad of a defense. Their secondary is, I think, pretty good, even though I think they're only ranked 18th or something like that. But it's one of those things. You still got to be able to get the ball to the open guy so they can create the plays that they have to. And if Josh Allen's arm is still stiff because it does get cold, the balls do get hard in this really cold weather. Those things are like rocks. And I've never seen what Josh's ball pressure is. We're talking about footballs here, guys. I don't know if he likes them hard or deflated like Tom Brady does, but you add a hard ball to this ice cold weather, it is like a cinder block coming at you. So find the open guy, call the correct plays, give the guys opportunities. I think Cincinnati will have a hard time defending them. I think the Bills could have a big game going on here.
Well, let's get into it. Score predictions, bold predictions. Scott, lead the way.
Well, I'm going to do a bold score prediction and a bold prediction. Cincinnati's beating they're 11-4. They look good. Bills are 12-3. They look good. Struggling against not so good teams, but we've mentioned all 32 teams are good in this NFL. Let's go up 30. Let's just score 35 points. My bold score prediction is bold because I think the Bills are going to separate themselves from this number 3 ranked AFC team. 35-14, I'm going to go.
Wow.
A nice big gap. Wow. And that is a homer pick, but like I said, I think I want to see it. I'm just hoping for something like that, just so the Josh Allen naysayers can be like, well, he can't put up points against Burrow, and the Buffalo Bills naysayers can be like, they just destroyed a team that potentially could get this first week bye, made a statement game. I would love to see that. So that's my bold score prediction. And my bold prediction is, as much as Josh Allen, I think, is going to light it up, him and Burrow are going to throw for a lot of yards. I see Singletary getting his second 100-yard game consecutive. Let's do it.
When Motor ran for that 100 yards on Christmas Eve, I was like, the Reed boys are doing backflips right now, man. They finally got that 100-yard game. Yeah, I would love that. I would love a blowout. I really would. I really want to swing for the fences and do the homer thing. I think it's going to be a combined over of, I think if you hit 62, I think you'd be all right. My score prediction is going to be 35-32. Buffalo Bills, I think this is going to be a bomb fest. But I think that since his last touchdown is going to come late and it's not going to matter. My bold prediction for this game is that Gregory Rousseau fends off those double teams. AJ Epinesa gives him some room. Eddie Oliver, Jordan Phillips, Daquan Jones, providing the lanes for Groot to get and smoke Mr. Burrow 3 times.
Boom.
I'm going a 3-sack, bold-ass game for Mr. Gregory Rousseau. I think it's time that people know his name in every household in Cincinnati, and I think this Monday night is going to be his time to shine. But I want to see Josh back to form. I want to see Diggs back to form. I almost went with the Diggs prediction. I've done the Diggs predictions. He's going to do what he does, and we all know what happens when Josh Allen gets in prime time. Something changes about that kid. So, yeah.
I like those, Swank. Diggs has been quiet. He has, and he's bound to have another big game. And Russo, as much hype as he has looked really solid. He's been getting a bunch of sacks, but he's still behind Von Miller by 1. And I think we're all waiting because we all think he can do it.
Yeah.
Have one of those multi-sack games and just finally take off. He's a double-digit sack guy. Just by the way he plays, you could tell he is. They just need to create the scheme, to the stunts, the blitzes, and all that stuff to help him out a little bit.
Yep. It's just continuity. Chicken Wang says 27-21 Bills. Lonnie
Chicken
says
Wang.
Bills 32, Cincy 24. Chicken Wang says Diggs shows up big. Lonnie says Allen 2 TDs. I'm guessing that's rushing, hopefully. Not 2 TDs total. Rob Mullen says bold prediction, fewest turnovers wins the game. Yeah, I said that. I'll give it to you, buddy.
Name, I'm over the track. Yeah, I said it. What you need to do is get back to.
That's right.
Ain't no thing like a chicken wing.
Josh Cook, 42-30 Bills, 5+ sacks from the D-line. I love it. Paulette, what's up, Paulette? I saw you in the comments earlier. Hope you had a good holiday. She says 32-17 Buffalo. Tom says 33-17 Bills. Mike V, Bills 38-24, Trey White pick 6 to close out the game.
There you go.
Harold, probably 1 seed if win or 3 seed if lose. Yeah, we didn't talk a lot about that, but
that's the way it would work.
That's the truth. If they win this weekend, I think they're pretty much in. Well,
if the Bills lose, Cincinnati wins, and obviously the Chiefs with the easiest schedule remaining win this week, that's the way it would look. We would automatically go to 3. Cincy would be 2, and the Chiefs would be 1.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Well, Russ isn't playing, right?
No, Russ.
He got benched.
All right, I think so.
Yeah, I think Russ Wilson got benched. Mario says Bills 32, Cincy 21.
He also had a concussion, so I don't know what's going on with that.
Oh,
either.
really? Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Our girl Lisa says 34-28 Buffalo. Micah returns. I love it. Kevin says no turnovers. Absolutely.
And Josh, it seems like Josh seems to find a way to turn the ball over every game, whether it's a fumble or an interception. Hopefully he clears that up before playoff time.
Yeah. Get him out of the way now. John Johns, Bills 28, Cincy 24. Close game down the wire. Cook runs for a couple TDs. Hines is my bold prediction with a punt or return kickoff for 6. Man, I hold my breath for that every single week, man. He's going to break one of these times. It's just a given. I feel like he's gotten some bad bounces on some these punt returns and stuff like that.
And you want it to happen when it counts, not when they're up by 3 touchdowns. You want it to be a game breaker.
Yeah, momentum changer or just a nail in a coffin. That's fine.
Yep.
Yeah. Paul says Cook and Singletary both 100-yard game. Allen no interceptions. Bills win 34-27. Debbie says 31-21 Bills. Oh, man. Thanks so much for all your participation, guys.
Yeah. Apologize for that yawn. It stuck up on me.
We got some more pick'ems to do here. I got to try and get out as close to 9 as we possibly can. No overtime tonight, hopefully.
We can make them quick. Swank, I'll be light-winded for these guys.
All right. Let's see. We got, just in case you're looking at the pick'em records, they're on your screen right now. Jarrod 49-36. Scott 54-31. Respectable. Swank 62-23. These money line bets, man, if you guys want a great New Year's Eve, just take all of my picks and put them all, take out your 401k and put all your money on my picks.
Swank, you're at like a 75% win rate right now.
I know, it's pretty crazy. This will never happen again. The rest of the time that we do this for our lives, I'll be like 0-97.
Yep. Max Oak, he joined us today. A lot of comments. Thanks for joining us. He's actually a Cincinnati Bengals fan.
What up, Max?
He's going to the game. Cheer loud, Max. Have fun.
Hell yeah, man. Let's see here. We got Dolphins at Patriots. Sunday 1:00 game. Me or you?
You know, my Tua's not going to play. I think I just want to see the Patriots. I want to see the bag of milk beat Miami. As much as I hate to see the Patriots advance, I'd rather see them at this point get in over the Miami Dolphins. I just want to see them implode and just that to happen. I think that'd be beautiful. Patriots.
Wow.
Cold weather game.
Cold weather game. Yeah. December game.
Yep.
No. Yes. No.
January
game.
January 1st. Or is it a Saturday game?
Sunday,
January 1st.
There's no Saturday games this week.
No Saturday games, correct.
Dude, I can't pick either. I hate both of these teams. I don't want either of them. I'm going with a tie.
All right, you get 2 points for
that. I'll go Patriots. I don't want to. I hate. Oh God, man. I love that everybody's like bag of milk. That's my favorite shit. All right. Jarrod, make sure we get Jarrod's picks before Sunday.
They actually play.
Let's see here. Jets at Seahawks. 4:05 Sunday game. I'm on Seahawks. The return of Mike White,
I got to start making a move, so I'll go Jets on this one.
All right. Mike White's coming back. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not. I mean, the Jets have hardly any hope of squeaking in now, right? Was there 1 or 2 wild card spots open?
I want to say there's only one.
I think so.
I think there's a divisional spot open and a wild card spot open. Right now, they're just playing for pride, Swank.
Just pride, man.
Jet pride.
Rob Mullen, if White plays, Jets. Yeah, I
Yep.
feel the same way, dude. But
Yep.
I'm going Geno here. Old
Mhm.
Uncle Geno. Let's see. A couple AFC games that have some playoff implications that aren't blatantly obvious would be fun. Steelers at Ravens. That's the late game on Sunday.
I'm glad that's a late game on Sunday. That kind of game deserves to be a late game on Sunday.
Hell yeah.
Steelers. I'm going Steelers.
Ooh, I'm going Ravens, man.
There you go.
I'm going Ravens.
Up and up. That's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be one of those classic Steelers versus Ravens football games. Low scoring, a lot of hitting.
A lot of defense.
All right.
Let's see here. I want to do Broncos at Chiefs, but I don't. Like, who cares? You know, like if the Broncos, we all want the Broncos to win. They're not gonna, right?
I think the Broncos are better off without Wilson. So who knows?
Yeah,
That
maybe.
that defense
That'd
is
be
tough.
fun.
Swank, that defense is tough, man.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice to see them, the
They
Chiefs,
got
get a
washed,
little.
though. The defense
Maybe-
hasn't looked very good these last couple weeks.
I know, but
Oh,
I still want to give them a chance here.
no.
they're-
Well,
But they're playing in Kansas City, aren't they? Damn.
Yep. Yeah. Let's see. Jags at Texans. I mean, is anybody gonna pick the Texans?
No,
No.
although they've been proven to be tough.
Yeah.
Is there another hard game in here?
Rams
Vikings.
at Chargers.
There's a couple big games though. I mean, Jaguars are in the playoff hunt. Packers are playing the Vikings.
That's
That'd
a
be a
fun
hard-
one, man. Let's do that one.
I think this is a hard time to play the Packers, especially since they're playing in Green Bay. I'm going Packers with this one.
Me too, man. Aaron Rodgers got the experience. They're starting to get stuff kind of clicking.
Yep.
Some of those young wide receivers he's got are actually very good and very good to watch, even though he kind of took a shit on them all season.
Well, Watson could be a stud there. I firmly
Yeah.
believe that. I would love to see Buffalo grab him late in the draft, but Watson's tough. Lazard is a tough guy. You're right. And they have a good running game. Dillon and Aaron Jones ain't no joke.
Listen, Lonnie called it.
Here we go, folks. We're in overtime.
That's right. We're in overtime. So I picked the Packers as well. Scott, Packers.
Yep.
Jerry, throw yours in the comment. We'll do a little final thought and get on out of your hair because I got to get out.
Get
Go ahead.
out.
Go ahead, Scooter.
Final thought, guys, is just enjoy the ride. We always say it. This is a legit playoff caliber Monday Night Football game we're watching. This is going to decide, not the decision, but it's going to be something that pushes us either closer to that one first week bye, or we at least secured a home playoff game with this AFC East winning the division. But enjoy the ride. Get hyped. This is a big game. Everybody's going to be watching, including you. It's just going to be an awesome way to end this week. And there will be, look out on our page for that little playoff scenario thing, because I'm going to start throwing it out there. Just playoff situations. I know everybody likes to say just win, but a lot of people also like to see what happens if this team wins. What team are we rooting for and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's win your football game. Let's get that first week by, and let's at the end of the regular season show that we can beat one of those top-notch teams. I think the Bills have acclimated to the weather. We're going to be playing cold weather. Let's keep riding, getting better, and no turnovers, a safe game, and let's just win this one out.
Did you
Happy,
say,
Merry
let's
Christmas.
ride?
Did I say let's ride?
You said let's ride this run out.
Merry Christmas, guys. We're still on the fence about having a Sunday sessions on Monday. We'll let you know. You'll see the event out there if we decide to do that. But if not, Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday.
That's right. Hey, guys, listen. Third year in a row, AFC East champs. Playoffs for 4 years in a row now.
Yep, 5 times in the last 6 years, 4 years in
5
a
out of
row.
the last 6, 4 in a row. Just remind yourself, I want this 1 seed as bad as everybody. I want to see home playoff games in Buffalo. I do not want them to give up on that at all. But also remember, the Bills are in the playoffs. They are already in the playoffs. They're in a good spot. They are the top 4 in the playoffs no matter what. So let's take that in for a second. When we start to get cloudy about the way they got there or the way they're winning. There was a 17-year period where they weren't winning and they weren't in the playoffs at all. So I try to make a point of it every week. Take it in. Enjoy this time right now. It is a great time to be a Bills fan. Number 1 seed in the AFC. Let's go. Let's be a good team in prime time. Another prime time game.
Yep.
Remember that drought? That was a big drought too. Big primetime game, huge playoff implications. Could meet them again in the playoffs regardless.
Yep.
Let's go. We're that team. I don't care about all the hype in the preseason and the off season and the beginning of the regular season. Now is now, one game at a time. Let's beat their ass. Who day? Who day? Who cares?
Don't the Saints say the same thing? I mean,
I think they say who dat.
Well, it's still.
Yeah. Same.
Come up with your own shit.
Sorry, Max. Thanks for tuning in. We like you. Have a good night, guys. Go Bills.
24/7 Buff Pandemonium FLX Mafia page. We do have a score predictions and a game day thread. Jump in on that. Let us know what you guys think. We love you guys. Thank for the participation. Go Bills.
Happy New Year. Go Bills.
This is a dangerous group.